It's good to see everyone again. Thrilled to be back out here on the practice field with the guys and excited for our first day. And yeah, we're ready to get rolling and take advantage of all the opportunities we can to get better and, be the best team we could possibly be by the end of this.
How different do you just feel about doing your job right now than you did this time last year?
I feel different just because, it's a different situation being year two, knowing the offense a lot better than I did when I first came in here and knowing the guys and how they move and, how they react to certain, coaching points and just little, things that go along with day-to-day, practice and meetings. And, yeah, it's definitely a different feeling and a really good one.
What's it been like to work with Ryan Kelly, I guess, both on the field and off the field?
He's been amazing. One of the most favorite teammates I've ever had. Just his knowledge about the game, but who he is as a man. Like, it's really one of a kind, and just, the depth of knowledge, how he attacks every single day, how he is as a dad, all the things that I get to learn from him on and off the field. It's a tremendous blessing.
JJ, why was it important for you to get together with the guys during that break to throw the ball, and where do you think that'll show up in training camp?
It was important because the more reps, the better. A lot of this offense is based off of timing and rhythm, and being able to get as many reps as possible is going to pay the utmost importance going into this camp and this season. So, yeah, just the rhythm and timing of everything.
How did that come together? Did you kind of spearhead it, or how did everybody kind of gather?
Yeah, I kind of spearheaded it here, and when I was out in Tennessee, kind of mentioned it to TJ, and we got J.O. out there, and Ty Chandler was out there, and Jordan Mason, so it was a good little group, but we had a lot of fun this summer.
A guy like Harrison Phillips compares you to like Josh Allen when it comes to leadership. How does that make you feel?
It's an extreme honor because Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in this football league, and, just being able to have a comparison like that from a guy that I look up to in Harrison Phillips, that's, it's an extreme honor. And, at the end of the day, I don't deal in comparisons too much. I believe that we are all one of one as human beings, but, it means a lot when a guy like that says something like that.
JJ, what is forward to for camp as far as your own, performance and improvement? What are you sort of internally focused on?
Just all the opportunities of growth. That's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to. There's so many ways that you can get better in protections and reads and, reacting to what the defense is throwing at you in the pocket and, on the back end. There's just so many ways to improve going against this defense every day. And, with the coaches and players around us and around me, there's never a day where you don't learn anything and learn a lot. So, yeah, just exciting to continue to grow and, take advantage of all those opportunities.
Will you know what to expect from Brian Flores, or is it just like every day you have no idea?
Somewhat of an idea, just based off of OTAs and minicamp, and just watching film on our reps and a lot over the summer. But yeah, you never really know because there's a guy like Harrison Smith back there and Josh Metellus that like to play with you a lot, and it's it's a fun defense to go against, that's for sure.
What did you learn during all the camps when coach let you kind of let it rip and also kind of take some chances, and now you said it'll be different when training camp starts? What do you think collectively you learned in that phase that'll help you get into more of the structured ways of camp?
Collectively, I think I learned, what windows I can fit it in and what windows I can't, and being able to really feel what that throw felt like, and if I need to put more trajectory on it or put a little less and throw it a little bit earlier, different things like that just kind of went into play based off of reps that were considered a failure, but I consider them a huge learning lesson and a huge opportunity of growth. So it's just gonna there's gonna be more of those opportunities this camp. We're always striving to get better and learn from our mistakes, but at the end of the day we're competing a lot, so it's gonna be fun to go out there and win some.
Have that freedom to be able to make those mistakes before you get to camp, right?
100%, yes. It's a true blessing, for sure.
Kind of random, but what did you get out of having your locker near Harrison and Justin Jefferson last year? I don't know if it's the same way this year or not, but what did you get out of that, and once you started spending time in the locker room after your injury?
The biggest thing I got out of that is just, seeing who they are as human beings and how they operate as a professional, and their day-to-day routine is something that is extremely beneficial, and just being able to observe as a young guy is one of the biggest things for any young player coming into this league. So I feel like just building relationships with those guys is, going to be something that I carry with me for the rest of my career.
Kevin yesterday was talking about focusing a lot on situational football. I guess how much was that an emphasis when you were in college with Jim Harbaugh, and how much did you learn about that last year in camp that you could build off of?
A huge emphasis when I was in college. We were very successful, back in college, and a lot of that, it's the same game, so it all corresponds to what we're doing in the NFL. And Coach O'Connell, Coach Ryan Cordell, it's just like a world-class operation when it comes to situational masters, and being able to be in the right mindset in the right time, and execute at the end of the day. And that's what this camp's all about, getting put in those situations and getting those reps of working at it and reacting to those.
When you talk about situational mastery as a quarterback, I think Kevin was talking yesterday about the decisions you make on 3rd and 3 or something different than 1st and 10. When you think about situational mastery, how does that change the way you play the position?
I would say it is the way you play the position as a quarterback. Like, you have to know the situation in every single play of the game and just understand, did the defense just get off the field? Are we really trying to take a shot here? Are we really trying to move the sticks and just kind of keep, the possession going, and really take in a multitude of factors within each drive? But I feel like that's just the number one thing with the quarterback is, handling the situations and making the right decisions, and, ultimately that leads to the most, probability of winning football games.
How important is this time right now in establishing a routine before the season starts?
Extremely important. Camp, the routine's kind of set for you, but just, the prehab work before practice and the post-recovery work, all those little things, you got to pick it up now, because it's too late during the season when you only have 4 days or so if you're playing Thursday night to go back out there and perform. So it's huge to really keep refining the routines of all our guys, and we have a great training staff, a great medical staff that helps us along the way in getting that perfect routine that's individually selective for each player.
What's on your reading list this summer?
Reading list?
Yeah.
A lot of father books. Yeah. I got a lot to learn in that area. That's for sure. Yes. Yeah. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Great seeing you all.